Ladies and gents, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Potato. This is Transport Fever. And at the end of the last episode, if you were tuned in, which you totally should have been, we were informed, rather reliably, that our very, very old and very, very faithful train, the original Elstree, good old regular Elstree and Borehamwood to Framlingham train, is now actually at its lifespan. Age 25 years, and I'm presuming, because I was informed at the end of the last episode, that that is the maximum lifespan for a train of this type. So, we've got the difficult decision of either deciding to keep this train on. We've got a couple of options, actually. I should probably mention that. Keep this train on, in service, which is not the end of the world. You know, it's fine. Its running costs are expensive-ish. They're becoming a lot more expensive as the train gets older. But we've got the opportunity to sell up, get a new train, introduce a second line. Like, we've got a fairly substantial amount of cash. We could take this opportunity to introduce a second line, maybe get a second train and just keep this one running. Or a whole bunch of stuff. I personally am of the opinion that we should probably just upgrade it, actually. Just straight up upgrade, stick it on auto upgrades. We'll set the vehicle. Now, we've got the option of the Class 53 Prussian G3. Now, this is a brand new train that was only released at the end of the last episode. It can go up to 50 kilometers per hour. The fastest train that we have available. The most power possible. What's the lifespan of this thing? 35 years? 30 years? 30 years, that's fine. Running costs are 3 times as expensive, though. 3 times as expensive. Don't really know if that's something that we want to do. And bear in mind that it's a fucking load of money to buy, right? It's a big, big chunk of money to buy. And if we want to get the full effect of it, like if we want to get the full 50-kilometer dream experience, then we're going to have to buy brand new cars for it as well. So that is kind of annoying. The good thing is that these cars carry more people, and therefore we'll only have to buy less of them. But hey-ho. I think that we're probably going to... Yep. Get that on there. So... Sure. And then we'll also get a couple more. That's 1 million to replace that. And that's 8 times 4. What's 8 times 4? 32? We're going to need another 2 carriages. Right? To make it up to 48. 8 times 2 is 16. Yeah, 32. So that's 32. That's going to be 40. And that's going to be 48. That's 1.3 million. That is a lot of money. And bear in mind that we're only going to get value of 14%. Value is 14% of 800k. We're gonna get 120k for this. I mean, we're losing money every time that I delay. But I want to take the opportunity to add another car. Fuck it. Let's do it. I'm gonna set that at 100%. So there is a couple more years, I believe. 26 years. Fuck. 26 years. And the lifespan of this thing is 30 years. That's how long the engine is. What's the lifespan of the... the cars are 25 years. That's the problem. But the engine's 30 years. But hey-ho. That kind of sucks that we're going to have to spend 1.5 million on this route. However, it is worth bearing in mind that this route is far and away, far and away, the biggest money maker on the face of the planet. So I kind of feel okay upgrading this route because it's going to make it faster. It's going to have a bunch more capacity. We can definitely deal with the extra capacity. The good old regular's got a lot of passengers that are just waiting to ride on this route. So I'm actually okay upgrading this train. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm presuming that it's going to happen probably when we have the money or when the engine reaches the limit. All right. Mr. Connector, though. Mr. Connector. 12 passengers. That's a substantial improvement on what we used to be getting. Is this going to offer me another train? This is a steam tram. Okay, so steam trams. In fact, trams in general, not something that we've really invested in. Looks like Mr. Connector's actually making a little bit of money now, which is remarkable, considering it wasn't making money for the longest time. Yet still not actually making money. All of our train routes are making money apart from Mr. Connector. Yeah, minus 73k. This will probably bring us above board, I'd imagine. But even though, it's still a route that is constantly very, very close to the ground. Purely because we haven't had the passenger numbers that we've really wanted to have in Morley, which is really, really disappointing, actually. Don't Fail Me Now seems to be... Train 1 has reached its lifetime and should be replaced. Yeah, I know. Well, as soon as we have the money to do that, we absolutely will. Don't Fail Me Now is unfortunately not making me any money. In fact, it's losing us a bunch of money. And that is a problem, actually. Oh, it's not a really big problem, but... kind of want you to unload, and then I'm going to send you to the depot. You head to the depot. I'm going to send all of the old vehicles to the depot, actually, because we've got a bunch of new ones, right? Like, we really do. We've got a bunch of new ones. So, let's take the opportunity to... Wait, did that just auto-upgrade them? It didn't auto-upgrade them, did it? Maybe it did auto-upgrade them. I was going to suggest, well, let's either upgrade them because the running expenses are becoming too high, or let's just sell them. I guess I'll just release you into the wild. Seems to be no reason not to. Still losing money, but I'm really hopeful that that's not going to be the case. Oh, I can get them all to return to the depot. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. Yeah, so here's hoping beyond hope that we're going to be able to turn a profit with the number of vehicles that we have on the route right now. But if not, I would not be against selling a bunch of vehicles. But you know, whenever I click on a vehicle, it always looks like it's always like full. It's always like full or almost full, which kind of confuses me because I feel that we should be making money off full vehicles. Like, why the hell are we not making money? Do we need just more bus stops? Is that the thing? Maybe we need more bus stops so that there's just a more frequent picking up and putting down of passengers. Should we try that? Let's introduce like shit tons more bus stops and see if that makes a difference. You know what? Nothing to lose, eh? Nothing to lose. Don't Fail Me Now. Add route. There. This could turn it into an immensely profitable line. It might not, though. It might just make it even worse. I guess that'll remain to be seen. That will remain to be seen. I'm interested to see when we're actually going to get the auto upgrade on the train on the good old regular, because we're now approaching the 1.41 or the 1.5 million that I think that we actually need to make that transaction. So I'm presuming that it's just automatically going to happen as soon as we hit 1.48 million or whatever it is. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. Maybe we're going to get even more stinking passengers coming on the Don't Fail Me Now route. Could be wrong, but it could happen. So you've actually got nobody. You had nobody loading up there. No idea how this works. Like, I presume every passenger has got somewhere that they want to go. Oh, the good old regular. It's done it. It did it. It did it. It did it. It upgraded. This is the brand new train. This is the G3 Prussian. In fact, I can get it up here. Oh, no, come back. Come back. There we go. This is the Class 53 Prussian G3. The one that cost 388k to buy. It's got a maximum capacity of 56, which we are now fulfilling, which is very, very impressive. I'm liking the look of that a heck of a lot. It's worth a shit ton of money. It's absolutely worth a shit ton of money, but it's got a top speed of 50, which is great. Really, 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 really good to see. And I'm hoping that with this train, we're going to see more frequent delivery of passengers, more passengers delivered, and fingers crossed, I haven't done the maths on this, but on a cheaper per passenger basis. So just because the running costs are more expensive, we are running the train at a quarter faster. So we're running it at an increase of 25%. So it's going to run 25% more than the old service did over the course of any given time period. 53 out of 56. That is a problem. So it doesn't look like we actually managed to fill the entire train. Now, all of my shitty maths, you know, I'll grant you that my maths is very, very bad at the best of times, but all of my bad maths was predicated on the fact that we would always have a full train. And I guess up to now, we've been very, very fortunate to always have a full train. However, good old regular may not always have an entirely full train. Now, Elstree and Borehamwood, we really need to fix this this delivery system here. I think I'm actually going to buy a couple more for this route. Fuck, I was going to make them yellow, but I didn't. Because that's the route. The new route, new me. Well, we'll get a couple more vehicles on this route anyway. See if that'll deal with the crazy, crazy, crazy amount of passengers that we seem to have just always waiting. I guess in the bus transportation business, it seems to have it seems to pay to have fewer vehicles and just keep people waiting, so you always have a full vehicle moving from place to place to place. But that's like the very definition of shitty service, right? Wow, good old regular only mustering up 30 people for this, for the return journey. That is chronically worrying, actually. I mean, I got this entirely new train because I thought that the route could handle it. And maybe it's just a bad thing with the buses in Elstree and Borehamwood, but I definitely was expecting more than 30 passengers to be mustered up by that town. I mean, 27 over here, that's more respectable. Framlingham has not been, you know, ever really. It's never been the big focus of this route. It was always on Elstree and Borehamwood. I mean, that's why we started the route at Elstree and Borehamwood, for goodness sake, you know? So, little bit disappointing to see that that the numbers haven't really materialized. That is, yeah, very annoying, actually. But fingers crossed, with the upgraded bus transport network, we should see more people for the good old regular route. I mean, that's the dream anyway. Yeah. Great Bridge of Dorchester still managing to fill out the seats. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I guess this game is kind of incentivizing letting people wait at the station. I mean, but I'm not really for that life, you know? I want to try and service everyone. That's absolutely the aim of the aim of the day for me. Speaking of servicing everyone, how is Mr. Connector doing? Slowly building up the number of passengers, but nothing too crazy. How are we doing in Don't Fail Me Now? Don't Fail Me Now, we're actually breaking even. In fact, we're actually making a profit. That's respectable. You know, I like that. That is really, really good. So it turns out that just plonking a shit ton of stations down, or shit ton of bus stops down, should I say? I mean, technically there are bus stations. But sticking down a whole bunch of those things has made the difference. We've actually managed to go from a minus 6k loss to basically a break-even situation, which is very respectable. Very, very respectable indeed. It's not the end of the story, but it's certainly something worth noting. Something else that I've been considering, perhaps we could upgrade the Great Bridge of Dorchester route and make it a little bit more numerous, because currently the Great Bridge of Dorchester route, we actually have like it's only capacity for like 24. I mean, admittedly, we're always filling out that 24, and I don't want to get into another situation like I did with the good old regular, where we have, you know, too many or not enough passengers for the brand new train. So if I did add any carriages onto this route, I would be very, very wary of you know, doing it. But hey ho, I guess. Are we actually making a profit over here? This is line 1. This is such a stupid name, but it's kind of stuck with me, you know, so I guess we got to leave it like that. Doesn't really look like there's much business here at all. Like, I think this housing area is completely new as well, so let's try and do what we did in Morley, and let's go for, you know, just the attitude of plonk 100 stations down both sides of the street and hope that it has some sort of an effect. I mean, It's a, you know, it's a silly attitude, right? But it seemed to work, so evidence-based research and all that. Here we go. And also this one over here. Yeah, all right. We'll give that a shot. See if it makes a difference. I mean, we might have to upgrade the number of buses that we actually have on this route, because that is a common occurrence. We regularly have to do that. In fact, you know what? I'll go and... We've got 3 buses on this route. How old are they? 24 years old. Wow. God damn, that is old as anything. I suppose this was kind of like one of the first places that we really connected. Yeah, let's set this bad boy up to get auto replace. Let's make sure that we actually set the color right. There we go. And set vehicle. I mean, fuck. I always do that. Set vehicle there. And then yes, rather than clicking set vehicle. Now that should pretty much auto upgrade all these things, because we've got loads of money in the tank right now. In fact, we've got so much money that we can probably pay off a little bit of our debt. We'll pay off 500k of our debt. Let's see what happens. There we go. We're seeing the upgrades. 1, 2, and number 3 coming along very, very shortly. I don't really know if it's the I don't really know if it's the extra seating capacity or if it's the... I don't really know what it is, but something about these new vehicles is turning is making them actually turn a profit on my lines. It might be the fact that, you know, we're just simply paying less in running costs, because I think if we take a look at, well, what would be a really old one? Second to one but none. I mean, how old is this? 30 years. Yeah, okay, so let's take an opportunity to look at this. So the running costs of this are 5.16 per year. Now, the running costs of a fresh bus off the line, as in a fresh brand new bus, running costs are actually 3.17 per year. So as long as we don't mind spending a little bit of extra cash, then we're actually saving money by introducing new vehicles. That is an interesting perspective. I did not really think about that. Running costs. They build up. You know, they build up. They do. So let's set up this so that it automatically auto-renews. And I guess a large percentage of the fact that we're losing a lot of money on some of these routes, on some of these bus routes, is down to the fact that the running costs are so unbelievably high. Speaking of running costs that are so unbelievably high, the running costs of the Great Bridge of Dorchester, the Great Bridge of Dorchester route must be, well, they're climbing, that's for sure. Yeah, so running costs slowly climbing by about 2k every year. I mean, it's alright, I guess. It's not the greatest. Let's have a little look at the train. We're at 43%. It's 23 years old. The carriages are just about at the age. 120k per year. I mean, how much is this train actually? The brand new G3 Prussian Grushin, it's 163. Okay, so wow. So for an extra 25% speed and a butt ton of extra... That's the wrong train. There we go. Okay, so it is actually quite a little bit more expensive to run the brand new train that's only 3 years old. However, this one is certainly, you know, it's bringing us in a heck of a lot more. We're getting a lot more bang for our buck for this one, I feel, rather than this one. But I think that we probably want to actually set the Great Bridge of Dorchester to upgrade as soon as it hits 100%. I'm kind of okay with doing the Class 53 Prussian G52, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't really know what it's called. And we'll also get a butt ton of Bavarian cars as well. How many do we want? I mean, that's 24, 32, 40. I mean, 40 passengers seems like a little bit of overkill, but we'll give it a shot. 1.17 million. So big expense there if we want to upgrade it, but I think it might actually be worth it. I think it might actually be worth it. You know, I think it might be. We introduced more vehicles onto this route, didn't we? Or do we only currently have 3? I didn't actually. I didn't introduce any more vehicles onto this route. I really should have done that. Alright, I'll get 3 more vehicles. Let's make sure that they're blue. There we go. 3 more vehicles. Stick them on line 1. And fingers crossed that that'll have some sort of an impact on a few more systems. Is this a new bus? Oh no, this is the class 89 Prussian T3. What the heck? Okay, before we buy on the... What, fuck. There, turn this off. No, where is it? Great Bridge of Dorchester. There we go. No. Whew. Alright. Let's have a little look and see how economically viable this thing actually is. So, wow, okay, this costs shit tons more. It's got a longer life expectancy. And its running costs are double. And it can only travel at a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour. It can tow more. So that's kind of worth noting. It can, wow, holy shit, its power is insanely bigger. I don't like it though. Like that's a doubling of running expenses. A doubling of running expenses. Like that's a lot. And look at how much that fucking costs. $750,000 for just the engine? That's a little bit outrageous for me. We'll leave the Great Bridge of Dorchester to be upgraded to the class G53 Prussian A-TG something something something. And hope that that is the train that we're looking for. But as of yet, there's no... I mean, I would be fine to sacrifice a little bit of speed, right? Like, absolutely, I'm fine with... Let's... sell these 2 off, I guess? Sell them both off. I would be absolutely fine, right? Sacrificing a little bit of speed on the Great Bridge of Dorchester route. It's not really a route that I'm really, you know, it's nice to have it just taken away in the background, but it's no big moneymaker for me. It's not bad, but it's no good old regular, you know? Speaking of good old regular, what are the passenger numbers for that right now? Good old regular, 55. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. If I could get 55 passengers on every route, and we're getting 56 on the way back from Featherstone, that's pretty damned good. And it looks like, yeah, we're gonna have a full train. Perfect. Absolutely fantastic. Really can't complain about that. It seems that all of this bus upgrading stuff has actually had a real impact. I mean, suddenly we're making more money than we ever have, hand over fist. Purely because we've just upgraded a bunch of silly horse-drawn carts to trains, which is actually working really, really well. 3rd time's a charm is also going to have to be upgraded pretty soon, I think. 21 years old. Yep, that's going on the 25, and as soon as it hits 25, we're really angling to get them out, because not really a big fan of keeping trains on longer than we need to, as you may well be aware. And the Class 53 Prussian G3, it turns out that that's pretty much fine for us, unless this is a better train. This is the compartment car. Alright, so it doesn't show up in my... Oh, now it does. The compartment car. 11 passengers, can go up to 60 kilometers per hour. It does cost a little bit more. Running costs are a lot more expensive. Huh. And the loading speed is double, actually. So, I think that this could be the first train that we actually figure compartment cars into. It's going to be very, very expensive to run, and it's going to be able to carry 55 passengers. 1.66 million to replace this. It's no small price, but I think that it might actually just be worth it. And that's going to get introduced on the 3rd time's a charm route as soon as possible. We've queued up a replacement for the Great Bridge of Dorchester whenever that decides to happen. It should be, well, very, very soon. As soon as this hits 25, it should be as soon as it gets to a station, I guess. So... like up here. I'm not sure if it's just any station or if it's the station that's closest to a depot, but I know that it auto replaces, so it's not a big deal. But either way, it's really, really good to see that we're actually making more money than we ever have, simply by upgrading trains. Like, that's really all it is. All right, let's see if it upgrades here. Hey, it did actually upgrade here. Perfect. It's fucking horrifically blue, though. That is a horrible, horrible color of blue. I mean, I like blue. Blue's an alright color, but it looks like fucking Thomas the Tank Engine. It looks like Thomas the Tank Engine. But this is going to be really interesting to see if this route can keep up with the extra demand, because we did upgrade the passenger delivery service, as in the bus route at one end. In fact, we upgraded the bus route at both ends of this route. So I don't think we're actually going to have any problems squeezing a little bit of extra cash and a little bit of extra passenger capacity onto this route. So that is really, really nice indeed. Well, ladies and gents, we're going to finish up this episode here. My name, of course, has been Over the Potato. We have made crazy, crazy, crazy progress. We're actually, you know, we're doing fantastically in terms of money right now. We're paying down our debt slowly but surely. Not like it's a really pressing concern for us right now, but we're doing good. We're making more money than we've ever made before, and we're running pretty much the newest trains on the vast majority of our money-making lines, or our big money-making lines. So very, very excited to see the Prussian G3 something something X G3X extra G3X on in this episode. So that's kind of nice, and it's good to see that it's being filled pretty much to the top. Anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to pay $500,000 back in loans, and I'll see you next time. Bye.